stalking a monster bull. Monster bull. Look at that whitetail.
Well, we haven't even quite hit legal light. I guess it might be legal now up top. It's so smoky and gross up here, but we just heard the very first bugle of the 2023 elk season. And there's just something about that. Always gets a guy excited, so we're up here hunting with a good buddy, Dylan Hunter. He's gonna come with us today, and we just heard one down on the bottom of this drainage. We've never gone in here from the top where we're at right now, but we're gonna drop in and see if we can get closer to them. And I know there's a pile of bulls in here. Darcy and I got into them last year in rifle season. Kind of the only spot that we actually had any action in rifle season. And I know they're in there, and there's some big ones. So we're gonna bushwhack our way to the creek, the little drainage, and then slowly work our way along it. But it's good news that there's one bugle in at least.
For many hunters, the start of the fall hunting season is often signaled by one thing, and that's packing up camp and heading into the hills in search of a bugling bull elk. As an avid elk hunter myself, I'll be the first to admit that hunting season for me really takes off after I've heard that first bugle break the morning silence. It's what separates summer from fall. And for many of us, there might not be a bigger hunting goal in mind than to one day cross paths with a true giant bugling bull. Let's face it, Alberta has some incredible elk hunting opportunities, with large populations in regions that are fairly easy to access. And although it makes it accessible to all, this also poses its own challenges. You see, in order to grow a giant bull, you need to find an area that allows them to reach maturity. And with the substantial hunting pressure in most areas, that's often easier said than done. In the end, like most elk hunters in Alberta, we find ourselves grinding it out on busy public land, dreaming about the day when we will one day encounter one of the few big bulls roaming the valleys. We just didn't know when that was going to eventually happen.
Had a cow sneak in on us. Just let out a couple chuckles. And we heard something that sounded like stand up or start walking, and we seen a cow that come right through, and she was maybe like 10 yards. She come and then hit our trail that we walked in on, and then she turned and smelled us, so I don't think she's got anything with her though. Along the top of the ridge, and then we dip down, hit that, spend 15-20 minutes calling around the water hole, and if nothing, then we're gonna work our way up the ridge and kind of hang out till dark. So we're not gonna cover a lot of ground, but I don't think we need to. I think there's plenty of elk within hearing distance of us. It's just whether or not they want to play.
So far
according to Onyx here, we have like at least 1 kilometer to get to where we need to be. It looks like it should be fairly easy walking for most of it, and then it gets into some really big creeks and rivers and ravines. And we're off the edge of these big ag fields. This one here is peas, and this was a really good spot last year, just up the hill there, and nobody has ever been to the southwest here, so we're gonna try it. It's one of those spots, again, just looking on Onyx on the maps and trying to figure out where elk might be. And this looks too good for them not to be there, so at the very least we'll see some new country, and maybe we'll find ourselves a bull that wants to play, because she's been kind of quiet the last couple hunts.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Super Center, Black Widow Innovations, the MD of Bonnyville, Weatherby, Glendale Targets, Deluxe Wall Tents, and Wapiti River Outdoors.
The early part of the elk season was a bit of a slow grind for us this year. We had hit up all of our usual spots in the first few days, but no matter how hard we tried, we simply couldn't strike up a bugling bull.
Another quiet night. Sucks because the weather has been unbelievable. These are the kind of mornings and evenings that you just pray for when you're coming up elk hunting, and it's been quiet. But
as much as we love hunting our faithful spots, we know that in order to find a giant bull one day, we're going to have to expand our horizons and continually learn new spots. There had always been a few spots on the map that stuck out to us, so my good buddy Dylan and I finally decided to take a leap and go check one of them out.
It's still really early in the evening, and we have what sounds like a nasty old bull fired up. He's bugled at us twice. We just got into a brand new area on the top of this ridge, and he's bugled at us twice. Doesn't sound like... That's a cow. Yeah, so he's got cows there. We have the wind in our favor, but it's a little bit thick, so we're gonna try and work our way towards him, see how close we can get, and I think we're gonna have to challenge him. He didn't answer my last bugle, but then as we were walking, he kind of heard us walking and he hit us, so he knows we're coming, but he doesn't want to come to us, so. Didn't like that.
This is where I believe we made our fatal mistake. We had him worked up enough to come charging down the hill and start wrecking a tree. And rather than try to coax him into a lane for a shot, I decided that we should work over to the side slowly while he was distracted. He was within range, and if we could make it 10 yards to the left, we might just have a lane to take a shot. And we almost made it there.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Scree Gear, Top Notch Taxidermy Studio, OnX Hunt, Covert Scouting Cameras, Mad Ramps, Federal Premium Ammunition, and High Mountain Seasonings.
We had gotten greedy, and he had gotten nervous. He quickly retreated up over the hill, and we had no choice but to get more aggressive and go after him. Every minute that I spent elk hunting over the past 12 years had led to this moment. The hours spent learning how to call, the time and money spent searching high and low for an elk of this caliber. Everything. As a bow hunter in Northern Alberta, you spend your entire life praying for just one opportunity, and that was it. 12 years culminated into one encounter, and I blew it. I stopped him at 32 yards in a perfect lane. I took my time and made sure my shot was good. In fact, I hate to admit it, but I was already celebrating inside. But like a sucker punch to the chin that you didn't see coming, life had other plans for me. From a moment that was going to be one of my greatest hunting memories I ever had, to utter heartbreak. And what makes it so hard to accept is that I didn't even see that small tree in front of me. It was a non-issue. I was so zoned in on that elk's vitals that I failed to notice a small tree less than 10 feet in front of me in my peripherals.
I am tired this morning. But coming in this morning, we actually stopped at the edge of the field where I know these elk are at. We could hear at least 2 or 3 bulls pretty worked up. So we're actually going in a little bit early. We're gonna hike in the dark, go up the hill and kind of wait for them. And we want to get right behind them or right on them, right at daylight. Because they've been, the last couple mornings, you get about half hour, 45 minutes out of them, and then they start to go quiet. So we're hoping to close the distance in the dark. These elk continue to kick our butts in this spot.
It's honestly like our only spot we have right now that's producing bugling elk. And this morning, as soon as we come in here, they were losing their minds. We followed them in the dark. And then like 20, 30 minutes after daylight, as soon as we can actually film and start moving in on them, they shut up. And we sit there, and then we'll hear them further up the hill. I don't know why, but we can't get them fired up here. We're gonna give it a few more minutes, have a sit down, and if nothing, we're just gonna work our way down the drainage back to the truck. I think we just killed an elk, Darcy. We were walking back because we were done for the morning. They shut up, we couldn't find them. And we were honestly just meandering our way along this creek that I know holds a ton of elk. And we came around the corner, and for like the first time ever, we just stumbled on a feeding legal bull elk. I don't know how he didn't see us. We scrambled, I got the gun up on him, and he was just feeding there. I put the scope on him, nice legal bull. Asked Darcy when she was ready, she said yeah, and I shot him. And I thumped him because he hunched right up. And I think he only went like 20 yards, and I'm pretty sure he's laying there dead. Should have been just on this hill feeding. There's blood. Huh. He's right there, Darcy. He's on, that's like 20 yards from where I shot him. Nice 5x5. I could see this side when he was feeding there. I put the scope on him, could see quick count. I knew he was legal, didn't know exactly what he was. But at this point, he was exactly what I was looking for. He's not the big herd bull that we've been in here chasing for the last 2 years now. But we are running out of days. It's quickly creeping into moose season, and we've got 2 moose draw tags that we need to fill. So elk was going to eventually get put on the back burner. Kyle's coming up today, and we're gonna start hunting moose tomorrow morning. So walking back to the truck in this kind of a location, and an opportunity like that presents itself, I'm gonna take that shot 10 times out of 10. So very, very fortunate to fold my tag on him, and he is going to be some fantastic eating in the freezer this winter. We just got to get him out of here. It's going to be, we just looked on Onyx, and I perhaps underestimated it a little bit, but we've got our work cut out for us because it's going to be a bit of a pack out for sure. And it's just the 2 of us, so